Today we're going to make one of my favorite new pasta dishes. It's a simple, fresh, green pasta. It comes together very, very quickly, but it's also very unusual. I had never had anything like it before. And the reason for that is that the sauce is based on Greek yogurt. So you get something that feels very creamy and rich, but is actually a very healthy thing to eat. And sort of the accenting flavors are feta cheese, tangy and delicious, red pepper flakes, just for a little heat, toasted pine nuts, which give a nice crunch and a sort of rich nutty flavor, and this, one of my favorite things to cook with, smoked paprika from Spain. It adds a sort of warm, smoky, almost mysterious flavor to almost anything. The key is just don't use too much or it'll overwhelm your dish. The fresh green flavors in the dish come from basil, wonderful and fragrant and in season in the warm weather months, and peas. I cheat, I guess, although I don't really think it's cheating, and use frozen peas when I cook most of the time. It's so much easier than shelling peas, and they're always fresh and delicious. For the pasta, you can use pretty much any pasta you like, although it's best to use a pasta that has nooks and crannies that will hold the thick sauce. You don't really want to use spaghetti or linguine because you'll lift out of the bowl and all the lovely sauce will be left in the bowl. So shells, or this is a sort of spiral-shaped pasta that has lots of nooks and crannies to hold that sauce. Penny would be fine too, but use the big penny so the sauce can get inside. You don't want to miss that. So let's get started. So now it's time to prep our ingredients. There's not a lot of prep here, which is always good, but I like to do everything in advance so that while you're actually cooking, you don't need to worry about measuring well, in my case, forgetting ingredients, which happens from time to time. The first thing we need to do is come up with about 1 2/3 cups of basil leaves. So a cup, lightly packed in that bowl. There we go. Now we have about a half a pound of feta cheese, and this we just want to crumble. So we'll take it out of its brine. I'm just going to crumble it with my hands. Now for the spices. It seems like a lot, but you need at least a teaspoon of this, and I love red pepper flakes, so I'm just going to add a little more. For the paprika, add a scant amount of that. So that's done. Now for garlic. I love garlic, but this garlic goes into the sauce, the yogurt sauce, which is not cooked except from the heat of the pasta. So with raw garlic, you need to be careful because it can be overpowering. A great way to peel garlic is if you cut the ends off, leave the papery skin on, and then just smash it with the flat of your knife. The paper will come off easily. And now for that green yogurt sauce. Greek yogurt. 2/3 of a cup of our peas, our 2 cloves of smashed garlic, and 6 tablespoons of olive oil. We'll use the rest later too. We're just going to blitz it until it's a smooth, light green paste. Nice. So while the water's boiling, we'll make the other component of the dish, which is we're going to fry our pine nuts in olive oil and add our pepper and paprika. It seems like a lot of oil, and it's more than you need to fry the pine nuts, but the oil itself becomes a condiment that you use on the pasta, so we're going to use it all. And then just put them in. And then sprinkle in the spices. Swirl the pan. And just let these fry gently for about 4 minutes. You don't want to rush it. The nuts are a golden brown color, and you see the oil is turning sort of orange, being infused with the pepper and the paprika, and the red pepper flakes have turned quite dark. That's what you want. So we have boiling water here, which is good. You want to salt it liberally. I just use like a handful of kosher salt, and then add our pasta. A pound of pasta, or a half a kilo, it's close enough. And you just want to cook this until it's al dente, and the time doesn't matter, taste does. So The only really way to make sure is to fish one out and bite into it. So as the pasta is finishing, it's important to reserve, I don't know, a cup or a little less of the pasta water. That way, if the pasta dish feels a little dry or the sauce starts to seize up, you can just add a little bit of the pasta water, the salty, starchy pasta water, and it'll thin it out beautifully without making it seem watery. So our pasta's ready, cooked al dente. So we'll drain it. And add it to this big mixing bowl that I've filled with our creamy green sauce. This is important though. Add this hot pasta slowly to this sauce. If you add it too much at once, it could cause the sauce to separate. So just a bit at a time, stir it in. Now we'll just very quickly blanch the peas. Come back with our blanched peas, stir them in as well. And our feta. Remember, don't salt the dish until you've added the feta, because the feta can be salty. And now it's time to taste. Good, but I definitely need salt. I would say it usually takes about a teaspoon of salt, but it varies with the saltiness of the feta, so you've just got to taste. This is feeling a little dry to me. The pasta is absorbing a lot of the water, so I'm going to add just a little of this pasta water to loosen it up just a bit. Just a splash. It's probably not even a quarter of a cup. Ah, see, that's much better. You get this nice silky sauce. That's what you want. And now, our fragrant basil leaves. We'll serve some up in a bowl. And we'll finish it with our oil and toasted pine nuts. Just drizzle it over the top. And scoop up a little of the oil too. And add it. So here's our finished dish. This is a great sort of special summer lunch or a light supper. Or you could serve it as a first course to a more substantial meal. I think it would be great to serve before, say, a grilled fish. I'd serve it with a nice light white wine. It's also very quick. You can go from a cold start, pulling things out of the fridge, to a hot meal here in about 30 minutes. Just make sure to put the water on as soon as you start, and in half an hour you'll be done.